Hey there fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Vancouver, British Columbia on the west coast of Canada. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting Vancouver. But before I get into the don'ts, I just want you to know this place is just a dreamland for outdoors people. Whether you want to go kayaking, you want to go skiing, snowshoeing, snowboarding, you want to go out and whale watching, you want to do hiking, biking, there's so much outdoor stuff to do here that's really the heart of what you really should do when you do come here, okay? And I say that because that leads into our first don't of actually coming to Vancouver is don't think it's just outdoor stuff. Now, the vast majority is outdoors kind of thing, but there are really cool museums here. This is the Museum of Anthropology behind me. Inside, they have an amazing collection of totem poles and relics from actually all over the world and from the First Nations and the people that are from around here in Vancouver. It's just a really amazing museum. Actually, probably my favorite one here in Vancouver, but there's other museums around here. The Vancouver Art Gallery, you have the Vancouver Museum, there's a Maritime Museum that's here. There's things you can do, you know, aside from the outdoor stuff. Going to Canada Place and seeing the Olympic torch where that was, or going to Gastown and yes, seeing the steam clock. I know it's super touristy, but you know what? You're a tourist. I'm a tourist. I like seeing it, so go see that at the top of the hour, okay, in Gastown, so you can check that out, all right? Another great thing about that whole, there's stuff besides doing outdoor stuff, is the food here. And what I want to tell you is don't skip out on Asian food when you are here, whether you're going to go get sushi, okay? You get sushi made with black rice in some of these places. I mean, it's just really, really good. The Chinese food, the Thai food, the Indian food. There's amazing restaurants, and it's small mom and pop places, so you can eat super well, and you can eat super tasty, and actually, when you go to those places, they're actually pretty affordable as well. So there is that out there. And that kind of leads into another don't I have for you is don't skip happy hour when you have the chance. As a tourist, we're not working a 9-to-5 job. We can go see things, and so you can take advantage of some of the deals. And one of the best deals I've seen in bars and restaurants throughout Vancouver is happy hour. Get the tasty local beer and some of the tasty local treats for a discount price. So definitely use that to your advantage to kind of save some of the money when you are here. Now, my next don't for you is don't freak out about the prices. I know when you watch HGTV and they're talking about, oh, I'm going to be buying a one-bedroom house here in Vancouver and it's $2.9 million. And you're like, oh my God, how can people afford to live here? Honestly, I have no idea how people afford their housing here, but the thing is, you're not buying a house, you're a tourist, okay? So don't freak out about the housing prices, how that kind of influences people's perception of how expensive Vancouver is, because honestly, I mean, Vancouver's not a cheap place, I'm not gonna say that, but comparing to going to big cities in the US and other big cities in Western Europe or in Canada, I haven't seen that big of a difference between Vancouver and Chicago or New York or Toronto. In housing, yes, but not necessarily in terms of going out, so it's not that bad, so don't freak out about the prices. Now, there is one thing though with that accommodation, it's really expensive for people. One of the things I would say for you is don't freak out about not being able to find an affordable hotel here in Vancouver. Look, hotel options can be a bit limited sometimes, especially if there's a big event going on like a marathon or something like that. But what's cool is there's still a ton of Airbnbs and VRBOs and vacation rentals and stuff like that, which are significantly cheaper than the hotels. And honestly, I find them to be a better value. They're usually in better places to go check out. You'd rather be in a neighborhood than downtown anyway. So you do have that. So don't be afraid to rent a place when you are here. And the thing is, if you do rent an apartment or you rent a house when you do come to Vancouver, don't wear your shoes inside the house. That's totally not cool, okay? You don't do that. You take your shoes off when you go into the house. That's how it works here in Vancouver. That's how it works pretty much everywhere in Canada. Take your shoes off. Going back to the pricing thing, look, there's one thing I will tell you, don't skimp when you have a choice. If you're gonna be doing whale watching, or maybe you're gonna take one of those harbor cruises, or you're gonna take one of those like airplanes that have the floating airplane things that go fly around for a cool tour, spend the money for it. It actually is worth it. The whale watching tours, they're guaranteed. I mean, make sure they say it's guaranteed. Even if you don't have one, they'll give you a free return to do it again, to check it out. We saw whales all over the place last time we were here. So the thing is though, you gotta spend the money to do these things, okay? So like our whale watching thing was $100 170 Canadian dollars. And so, yeah, it wasn't cheap, but actually, for what we did, it was a 5-hour tour. We saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We saw about 10 whales when we were out there. Man, I was so happy with it. And you get to go and see the islands and stuff. It was really cool, but it was worth spending the money. So when you see some of these things, you know, going up to Whistler, if you want to go up there, you're going to be taking one of the seaplanes, flying around for a tour, you know, spend extra money, because yes, you can spend money and just do a 10-minute flight around on one of those planes, or you can spend a bit more and go for an hour or so and see so much more. Okay, so don't skimp when it comes to these kind of things. All right, now if you are going to be going whale watching and it is a sunny day like this, which does happen, it's not always rainy here, okay, but if you're going to go out there, remember, bring sunblock, and also it probably feels about 10 degrees colder when you get out on the water, so bring some layers when you're going to go out there, because it will get chilly. Okay, and I don't know if all the boats give you blankets and stuff like that, or if you have the whole jumpers and stuff, but just be prepared to be a little chilly, but do lather up with the sunblock, because as you can see from my face, I mean, I had hats on and stuff like that. I still did get burned when we did do that, so do have a heads up. Now, speaking of that rain, don't forget to bring a jacket and an umbrella when you come here. It rains about 170 days a year here in Vancouver. I mean, it's a rainforest, okay? You'll see all the forest and it's lots of rain. Yeah, it kind of goes together. And the thing is, though, when you come here, we're having great weather today. I'm not going to lie to you. The 4 days we've been here so far, it's been sunny and beautiful. And if you come in July and August, this is more typical weather than the dreary, rainy stuff you get the other 9 months out of the year. So what I'd say is, if you're going to come, always bring a jacket, okay? Even if it says, oh, it's gonna be nice when you're there, bring a jacket and a jumper with you, because it can cool off quite a bit at night. And with the humidity and everything, we really have known a difference when we've gone from, oh, it's sunny, then a cloud goes over, you're like, oh, it's a little chilly. Or sitting outside at a cafe, and once the sun moves where we're under the shade, I mean, the temperature drops quite a bit. So bring layers, bring jackets, bring an umbrella, and realize it's going to rain, okay? But another thing with the weather I'd say is, don't expect snow, though. Look, Vancouver, it doesn't really snow here, okay? It doesn't get that cold. It will get to freezing, and maybe they have a little snow a couple times in the winter, but in general, it's rainy and kind of cloudy, okay? That's the typical winter weather you have. Now, if you go up in the mountains, yes, there's going to be 4 meters of snow in some places. That's how it happens, but don't expect to see snow here, which for a lot of Americans, sometimes it's weird thinking, well, it's Canada, it snows everywhere there in the winter. No, not here in Vancouver. Now, on a more serious note, I would say there are different parts of town you might want to watch out for. Probably the one that tourists might accidentally go into that they might not realize it is, if you're in downtown, the east side, okay, downtown east side, that is where there's there is a lot of homeless people that do live there, and there are some drug issues that are there. Now, there's a lot of cops and stuff like that, and you might be okay, but I just recommend don't go there and just explore some of the other really amazing parts of the city instead of that part of the city, okay? For example, going to Granville Island and seeing that, or going to see Gastown and stuff like that. I mean, there's places you can go and enjoy. Stanley Park, oh my God, Stanley Park is gorgeous. It's like a 1,000-acre park that's just off this little part of land right in downtown, which is great. Oh, and if you do go to Stanley Park, I will give you a don't for that. Don't try to ride a bike the opposite direction of the arrows in Stanley Park. Now, you may think, well, there's nobody here on this day. Well, it doesn't matter. You got to go the right way, okay? You got to follow the signs going around, because you go the other way, you're not going to make any friends, okay? So make sure you're going around the right way. Another one of those make sure you're going the right way kind of things. Okay, there's Grouse Mountain or Grouse Mountain. I mean, I've heard locals say both ways, but it's the mountain that's closest to here. It's like 20 minutes you can get to, and you can go skiing and stuff like that. And they have this thing called the Grouse Grind, which is like going up like 850 meters, up, but it's like steps going up, Look, don't do that if you're not physically prepared for it, all right? Another don't with that is, don't try to go down it. You only go up, all right? So just have a heads up for that one. Now, another don't I have for you that has to do with doing some of these outdoor activities. If you go to the Capilano suspension bridge, okay, it's this cool suspension bridge. It goes through the forest and kind of stuff over, and it's just a beautiful view to go to. But the thing is, it's a suspension bridge that you walk over, and people can get it swinging. So if you are scared of heights, don't go, okay? Just don't go. It's really cool. It's great pictures, stuff like that, but if you get scared of heights, I don't recommend you doing that. Now, if we head back into town, I'm going to tell you one of the don'ts I have for you is, don't expect to see really nice architecture here in Vancouver. I mean, the architecture here is pretty bland. I'm like, wow, they spend millions for really bland architecture? Yeah, they do. So you know how you go to some cities, you're trying to take in, oh man, look at all this great architecture, look at all these amazing houses, these amazing buildings. No, you don't really have that here in Vancouver, okay? So don't worry about looking up and trying to see all the architecture. Just go enjoy the food and the outdoors stuff, okay? Because the architecture, not so cool, all right? And probably one of the most touristy things to do when you do come here to Vancouver is going to Granville Island. And I know it's super touristy, but it's super totally worth it. So don't skip that. The locals will say, oh, don't do that, it's so touristy. Oh, but it's so nice when you go there. Going to the public market that's there, you can try salmon candy, you can try, you know, all kinds of different foods that are there. You can have this great time eating there, shopping there, all kinds of stuff. It's a really cool market you can go through, and there's restaurants there for you to enjoy. So don't skip out on it. I mean, honestly, I know it's super touristy, but it's been probably our favorite place to go is the public market there, because it's just a fun thing to do and it's easy to get to. Next don't I have for you is if you are going downtown, okay, and you're kind of walking around, you're getting your legs tired and stuff like that, don't pass up the Aquabus. What the Aquabus does, if you're on Granville Island or one of the other places, it just goes to different stops along the city, so you don't have to like go up, walk over a bridge and go the other way. You can just take the boat over, and it's cheap and it'll get you where you want to go. You can buy a day pass for that and things like that. That leads into another don't. Don't forget to get a compass pass when you're coming here, okay? That's like it's like a credit card kind of thing that you buzz in and buzz out to use the buses, the SkyTrain. The SkyTrain's the metro here, the subway that's here. You'll take it from the airport in, and the ferries and stuff like that. And it's really cool because you just buzz in, out, and you're good to go, which is really cool. And I mention all this public transportation because our next don't is don't expect to find Uber or Lyft here in Vancouver. Now, there's been rumors, oh, it's going to come, it's going to come. And I've seen posts back years saying, oh, they're talking about maybe letting it in. Well, summer 2018, it's not there, okay? So just have a heads up. You're gonna have to use taxis if you wanna, plan something out. Now, there are tons of taxis around town. There's taxi stands. You can flag them on the street when you are here. But what I've done is actually I downloaded an app and I can put in my address, like an Uber app, Lyft app, or whatever. You can, say where you wanna go, and those things, it gives you a rough price what you're gonna pay, and then it calls somebody in. I do find, though, that the times they say when the driver's gonna get there is not even close, okay? But they do come, so that is helpful. So have a heads up for that one. And the thing is, though, I would also say is don't think that you have to taxi around everywhere. Now, some places, if you're going to come out here to the University of British Columbia and go see the museum here, yeah, you're going to have to taxi out here because the bus will take a while to get out here. But the thing is, the taxis aren't really that expensive, so that is kind of nice. But the thing is, you don't always have to taxi. When you're downtown, walking from Granville, hop on the Aquabus, go over to downtown, and walk around there, then go to Stanley Park. I mean, you really can walk quite a bit, so make sure you do bring the right footwear for it. Otherwise, you're going to have some painful tootsies here by the end of your day exploring. Now, going back to the public transportation, another don't I have for you is one, don't line skip. Don't jump the line, okay? For the buses and stuff like that, people make a nice line, they'll wait in their turn, stuff like that. That's how it works here. If you try to jump at the front of the line, people are not going to be happy, okay? So make sure you do stay in line. And you may think, well, that's my bus. Dude, there'll be another bus that's coming pretty soon. Don't worry. Okay, they run relatively frequently. But that is one thing, is don't skip the line. Another don't is don't rush into the SkyTrain or rush into the bus before the people that are getting off get off, okay? So don't bum rush it, all right? That's not just here in Vancouver. That's kind of like a Canada-wide thing, but don't do that here because I've seen that a few times with people on the buses. And my last don't for you for here in Vancouver has to deal with the day trips. Now, there's two really cool day trips or places nearby that you should go. Notice I'm not saying day trips. Places nearby that you should go. Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, and Whistler. Both of them you theoretically could do in a day, but you're gonna be, it's gonna be a long day, okay? Victoria, you take a bus, and then you take a ferry, and then you take another bus, or if you're gonna drive, you drive and take a ferry, then drive. It's gonna take you at least 3.5 hours to get there, 3.5 hours, depending where you are in Vancouver, if there's no traffic, which wait till there's a crash on a bridge or something like that, you can be stuck for a while. But it's not, you're gonna need a whole day. Think about it, 3.5 hours to get there, 3.5 hours back, that's 7 hours of transportation to go see that city. So if you're gonna go to Victoria, do an overnight there. It's a really pretty city. It's worth visiting, but just know that it's just a little bit too far for a day trip. Now, Whistler, the drive there, you go along the coast and up into the mountains. The drive is gorgeous, but again, it's a little bit of a longer drive, and if you're going to be going and enjoying stuff up there or skiing or these kind of things, it might be a bit far for just a one day. You can do them, but I recommend don't do that. Go spend a night at those two places, so that'll be like kind of a nice little visit away from Vancouver. Anyway, I hope this helped you know some of the things you don't do when you go to Vancouver. We have other videos to help people visit Canada, the don'ts of Canada, 10 shocks of Canada, 5 things you love and hate about Canada, 5 things you should eat here in Vancouver. We have all kinds of stuff to help you out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and if you want to see all of our Canada travel videos, go to our YouTube channel, look on our playlist, and you'll find Visit Canada travel videos. And there's all kinds of great stuff from Toronto, Quebec, Prince Edward Island, Montreal, all kinds of things to help you enjoy this beautiful country even more. Anyway, I want to say bye from Vancouver and have a great time, because it is a really cool place, but man, if you're an outdoorsman, this is the place for you. Bye from Vancouver.